Should you steer a course to this menu update?
Princess and Bear here. Today we're at Disney's Yacht Club Resort because it's time to return to the Compass.
We're going to Ale and Compass for dinner.
Yes, we're going to find our way to these new things on the menu because it's your number one choice of food infotainment. We're here to try the food, so you don't have to, because remember, she's vegan. I'm not. Let's get lost.
It's time to foodie and chill.
Disney's beautiful 2-for-1 resort, Yacht Club, Beach Club, connected. This is like the chill moderate with flowers, water, and stuff. I'm not going to tell you how hot it is because I'm not a weatherman. Just know that it's Florida and you will sweat. Now, when you advertise a new menu to us, Disney Eats, of course we're going to drop in. We're almost expected at this point because we are suckers for new. Advertised on the menu is this brand new / reimagined crab bisque. This is not the first time I've had crab bisque on the menu, but this one is less of a tomato base, less creamy, more of a focus on the crab and the cream with those little dots of the chili pepper oil around the outsides, but it's still 100% all about the crab. You know what? It still looks plenty creamy to me, so much so that I did in fact take a magic pill. I can definitely taste the added focus on the crab and definitely less of the tomato. The chili oil isn't as prominent as I would hope. I was hoping for a little bit more of a kick from that to sort of add like some complexity to the layers. This just feels like a herb cream soup that has crab in it. Less crab forward, green onions give it a little spark, but nothing outrageous. It's a good soup. It feels very New England, which is what the Yacht Club is very much themed after. Very much appropriate. One of the signature things here has always been like the Parker House rolls. There's never a time where we're not going to recommend that to you, but if you're feeling soupy, even when it's 109 feels like outside, it's not a bad bisque. I would give it a 3.75 out of 5 stars.
The last time we did a review here was in March 2025, and I had that iteration of salad. Then in August 2025, they changed it to a beautiful strawberry salad, and I've had that on our list to try for quite some time, but we just never made it over to Ale and Compass for that. They had it at the lounge too. We didn't review either. There was always like something else that came up. So now they've changed the menu today, and they changed the salad again. So unfortunately, I'm never going to be able to try the strawberry salad, and I'm okay with that. We have a new one, which has a Citrus-Tarragon vinaigrette. It is a lemon, essentially. And then it has cucumbers, radishes, tomatoes, and all kinds of beautiful things. I do also have pocket parm. I barely got anything but lettuce, and I don't know if it's really safe for me to be eating lettuce right now, but we're at Disney, and we're all living with the land here, so cheers. When they said eat your leafy greens, I do not know if they meant leafy greens all up in your face. I could use a little bit more shredding on my lettuce. It's just really large. I'm going to need to cut it myself. It's okay. It's overdressed, but then also the flavor is really light, if that makes sense. So it's like eating something with too much oil. You just get like the grease all over your face. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm going to give it a 2.75 out of 5 salads. The current seasonal flatbread is prosciutto and goat cheese, and if it was a little more vegan friendly, I probably would have gone for that over this.
Luckily, this isn't your only salad option. They do also have a tomato burrata with like a peach base. But that one I was obviously vegetarian, so none for the princess. But you know what? I'm going to dive in with the chopper and try to take more of this salad. I'm seeing some apple, cucumber, some heirloom tomatoes in here, all of which increasingly hard to pick up on a fork. They are not stabby compliant. This is truly like a lighter salad. The lemon tarragon sort of like dressing is very light. The vinaigrette, you have like the apple slices and tomatoes in there, give it a very light flavor. So the base really is the greens with additional sort of light sweetness from the apples, the cucumbers, I feel like you could use more fixings would sort of help because it doesn't really feel like there's enough there. I feel like it's more of like greens and nothing else. You're chasing around the little accompaniments you have on the plate. So if you're looking for something extremely light for your appetizer, this would be your choice. If you're looking for something more significant, I prefer to have something that's going to wet my appetite instead of just dampen it like this does. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 claws. Doubling down on the crab in more ways than one. Crab appetizer, crab entree with a little bit of extra crab. So you have this Maryland style crab cake, brand new on the menu. So you have this, what is considered to be about a 4-ounce crab cake. You do have the ability to order additional crab cake for $10. That one is not 4 ounces. Whether or not the $10 is the value, I'll let you guys decide. And then we have a side of a corn succotash on top of corn puree, and then a spicy aioli tail over here. You know, caking it up, New England style. Try to cut off a aesthetic piece of said crab cake. See how well I do here. It's a thicken, probably thicker than I would normally bite. Let's go ahead and cut this one in half. Trying to turn it to mush, probably failing. But crab cake. It's fluffy, looks like a bread-based crab cake. So you like thicken it out, combine it, see what it tastes like. There is actually a significant amount of crab in there, instead of just being like you get some of those like island crab cakes. They try to fill it out with like cabbage and bread, and so you get like the ratio is only like 30 to 40% crab than everything else. This one is definitely mostly crab, a little bit of bread just to be the binder, and then you have all the season in there. It's not as punchy as I was expecting. I was expecting something like more heavily seasoned, but I'm more used to island crab cakes. Is probably why I think that. This is more like letting the crab be crab with a bit of sear on it, but you do have the sides and fixings as well. Definitely want to try those. The crab cake on itself, I could do with a harder sear. It's kind of soft, but I would give that a 3.75 out of 5 claws on its own. Now let's try it with everything else, because we have this corn puree and this corn succotash, that home style kind, and a little bit of the aioli on the side, the spicy aioli with the crab cake. Because maybe you just need an all-in flavor profile for this thing to really grow to the kaiju style flavor that I expect from it. That does really come alive with the aioli. Sort of like brings out some of the inner flavors of the crab cake. The puree with the corn succotash. It's corn twice, but it actually really pairs well. That feels like more very much New England style crab cake. There's definitely more of the flavor in there than just the crab cake on its own. I don't know if the additional crab cake is worth it. It's definitely a lighter meal, but if you're feeling crab and seafood, I feel like it does represent you New Englanders rather well. I'm going to let you New Englanders judge, because I know you have your own sort of criteria for what exactly constitutes New England food. Just like I only have some limits on how far I'm willing to judge like a crab roll or clam chowder. There are some things that you guys own uniquely that I do not have the experience with. So if there's any part that you think is lacking, I love to hear from our community. This is as much your channel as it is ours, and we always want your input. As far as I believe, I think this is enough to raise it to a 4. It's a decent crab cake, but we definitely have had better. I would say, though, that if the additional crab cake is always going to be this size, you can probably just go ahead and skip the additional crab cake.
Yesterday, Bear and I secured our multi-day tickets for Halloween Horror Nights. And today, the real horrors have been unleashed. I personally feel some type of way about Fortnite, and then here we have peas on peas on peas. This is Bear's personal Horror Nights. We're getting a little early, I guess. It's like a pea-based spaghetti with a pea puree with peas on top. I'm going to miss the corn and gelati, I'm not going to lie. I do have pocket parm. There's a lot in here. There's sun-dried tomato as well, and then there's some asparagus pieces. This is very interesting. It feels, I don't know, the texture of these noodles look and feel almost like udon noodles. I'm struggling a little bit here, and there's no way to get this without getting peas. So Bear, I got nothing to say. I already know 100% that it doesn't matter what I say about this dish. Bear's going to disagree with me 100%. But let me tell you, if mushy peas were a pasta, it would be this. I love this. I love this specifically because it tastes like peas, like mushy peas, the best peas, the only way to eat peas, proper pea situation. Yes, I like this. I would say if they didn't make it taste like mushy peas, it would lose the plot completely. But I think when you have that pea puree in there with the pasta, and then you have like the pea consistency as well, you're at the zone of mushy peas, and it's seasoned. I know you don't typically season mushy peas from what I've learned, but this is seasoned. I think it's very nice. A huge step below the black garlic fettuccine pasta that you can get at Yachtsman when they're reopened. Bear and I's reviews are going to be so different for this. I'm going to give this a 4.75 out of 5 pastas. I love this to the point where I would actually come back here and order this again and ask Bear to come back and get it. And again, I have pocket parm. I'm not eating it just like this.
I believe in foodie karma. You know, the things you say about food, the things you do to food, they come back to revisit you. And this feels like my karma. And I'm not talking about like the Matrix level speech about karma. Pasta with infused peas, a citrus and pea puree, the sun-dried tomatoes. This looks like I pissed off a sea witch. This looks like a payback from somebody. I feel like the ghost of Mama Melrose has come back to literally laugh at me. Because as a princess is like talking about this and eating it, you can see the looks on my faces, much to like the face right now as the peas waft off the plate. I know mushy peas being that England, UK, not everything that comes from England was a good idea, you know? That's why we came here. Peas, one of those things. But I digress. I like mushy peas, so, you know, maybe I'll like this pasta. Maybe it'll surprise me. As it's like green on green on green. This looks like snot pasta. Oh my God, the smell. I am not going to enjoy this. But I'm going to try. I'm going in with a clear head. Like, just meditate out the peas. The skin and the casing on those peas sends shivers down my bear-sized spine. You must really love peas to love this dish, because the sauce, the peas themselves, everything on here is based on the peas. It's peas plus pasta. The sun-dried tomato does add a little bit of acidity and brightness to the dish, but it is very earthy, very much in the foundation of everything pea-like, and all their compatriots, cousins, ancestors, all here, laughing at me from this plate. I admire its commitment to its theme. It said peas, and it very well meant it. If that's the flavors you're searching for, it nails those, like building a ship. Me, I would sink this ship, like Davy Jones, and I would smile and laugh as it sank. It's a pasta. It's not bad. I understand that my disdain for this pasta is strictly based on my hate for peas. It is flavorful, it is punchy, it is everything that it claims to be. It's just everything that I hate. Based on that, I'm giving it a 2.75 out of 5 claws with a heavy asterisk that my personal biases is built into that rating. Your mileage may vary significantly. I will bring the princess back here if she wants to come. But I'm not trying this again. One thing I had sorely hoped for here at Alien Compass was an update to their drink menu. Their drinks are fine. I don't love most of them, but they do have almost a full bar connected to this restaurant, so getting a cocktail of your choice is not hard. But an easy choice here has always been the Maple Old Fashioned. It's one of 2 signature cocktails, and I'm never going to say no to a value-priced Old Fashioned. $16.50 for a Maple Old Fashioned. The bitters. Smells delicious. Deep flavor, a very strong maple flavor. I'd say like very maple forward. It's definitely not as tasty as say like the Maple Old Fashioned from like Le Cellier, but it's not a bad Old Fashioned by any stretch of the word. It will get you feeling surly in no time. Just don't throw anybody overboard. This is an actual ship. This is a resort. The floor is hard, okay? I'll give this 3.75 out of 5 claws.
I feel somewhat responsible for not coming here enough to enjoy those beautiful donuts that they had here. Those were one of my favorite desserts, and the fact that they don't even sell those in like the marketplace or anything like that, it's just the vegan brownie, it just hurts my heart immensely. I guess I had like different feelings about coming here for different reasons, mostly personal, but I'm okay with a new dessert. I am going to miss those donuts quite a bit. Now, when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is sus. There's no way a marshmallow dish, peanut butter marshmallow dish is going to be vegan. But then when it's a potato meringue, and then it's a peanut butter cup, so there's a lid, and then there's an innard. So you can see, you probably can't see. Let me get some of this off here. You get like, a little peanut butter innard, like an a Reese's situation with a almost like caramel and chocolate on top. So some of the same components that you had with the donuts that I love so much, reconfigured with the peanut butter. When I was growing up, I was always one of those kids where I didn't really like peanut butter or anything. I didn't like Butterfingers. I mean, I didn't eat a lot of candy in the first place, but I would go to my grandma's, and she really liked going to, like, Dairy Queen and stuff, and she would get, like, Heath and toffee and peanut butter cups in her flurry. I think that's what it was called. I don't remember. And I would try to sneak some bites, and it was always peanut butter, and it just wasn't my jam. My mom, too, she loved her peanut butter candies, and it's just not my jam. So, like, for me, this is like eating one of those peanut butter candies, like being the kid sneaking into the pantry, trying to get like a little morsel of sweet and then getting peanut butter in the face. It is nostalgic, so that's a thing, but it legit tastes like a peanut butter cup with a little bit of like meringue on top. I'm not mad at it, but I do think that you do need to be a peanut butter lover in order to enjoy this. So I am not. I think just based on growing up and being forced to sneak peanut butter candies and things that I didn't actually want to sneak, because that's all that was available to me, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 desserts, but I'm going to take that with some biases, just based on my childhood stuff. I would say if you are super into peanut butter, this is probably like a 4.75 out of 5. You might not want to stop.
I wonder if this is their way of making up that pea-based pasta to me by giving me a different pea that they know that I love, as in peanut butter. The name of this dish is very misleading because it's like a peanut butter marshmallow cup, but like the marshmallow is really just this potato-based meringue on top, and you have little pieces of peanuts on there, and then you have the chocolate shell, and then this peanut butter mousse on the outside. Then you have both the peanut butter sauce and then the chocolate sauce crisscrossed the plate. The construction of this thing is glorious. Never in our lifetime would I have thought that I would see a chef make a meringue out of potato, but here we are. because we're in the future. We're just missing flying cars and jetpacks. Let's dive right in here. Get a little section. Don't butcher it too bad. Now, I am always been a peanut butter boy. I live and still occasionally will slum it on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches like it's a actual 3-course meal. Occasionally, as the princess doubts me from behind the camera. I say occasionally. If you give me a loaf of bread and peanut butter, I can make this here in a week. Solid week. Beautimous. Taste comparison. Think about if you took an oversized, probably triple thickness Reese's peanut butter cup, you top that with a marshmallow cream, toasted it, and put little bits of like Snickers nougat on top, which is representing both the peanuts on top and the sauce crisscross. And that's about where you are. It's like if a Snickers, Reese's, and marshmallows shook hands, kids. They shook hands like friends, and that's what this is. I would give this a 4.75 out of 5 claws. This is most definitely my jam. Another brand new dessert on the menu is this banana brulee. You have this nice chunk of the banana brulee. You have that melted toasted sugar on top, some berries on here for color, on top of a little tart base. It's beautiful. It feels like something that belongs at the Festival of the Arts. At least that was the princess's thought. I think I tend to agree with that. It is quite beautiful. I don't know if it's as beautiful as her dessert, but it is quite cute and succinct. Go ahead and just take off an end here. Can I? Nope. I need to sit the plate down because that tart is tarty. It's like a flaky crust down there almost. More than like a tart. Yeah, I need a knife. There we go. That was a toughie. Definitely wasn't expecting it to be that tough. But we have tools for that very reason. This is why our Lord Cthulhu gave us opposable thumbs. Interesting. I get the brulee part. The consistency of like the top is definitely like a brulee sort of consistency. The bottom piece is less tart and more like a flaky pastry. Think like apple turnover level of flakiness, which keeps the whole thing very light. I would think it was going to be tart. It was going to like dense and heavy, but the whole thing is like a banana balloon, almost. Definitely banana flavored. The toasted sugar on top is light, but it's definitely giving brulee vibes. I can rock with it. It is not as good, personally, as the princess dessert, and I love bananas too, but it's still beautifully plated and extremely tasty. I would give that a 4 out of 5 claws. So, Ale and Compass, new menu, an improvement. This is the first day. I think they can get better.
They have a new menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes.
I don't know how quickly we're going to be coming back to do all of those things. Of course, your comments are always encouragement for us to go and do those things. But as far as dinner goes, I love my pea pasta.
Ugh.
I really did not like the salad. I would skip the salad.
The salad needed more to it. It didn't feel... It feels like a grab-and-go salad unless like a restaurant appetizer salad. It just wasn't given enough anything, really.
I agree. And then as far as my dessert goes, it was very delicious. It was very peanut buttery. And since I'm not as big of a peanut butter connoisseur as Bear, I did donate a good portion of mine to the Bank of Bear. Yeah. And he graciously took that deposit.
I ate like 75% of her dessert and then like no more of mine.
Yeah,
so,
our
like,
server was like, do you want your dessert?
Hers is just better. I don't know. I mean, the brulee was fine, but it was like brulee light. The sugar on top wasn't like hard torch, so it's like a more of like a toasted sugar glaze, and it wasn't like caramelized, so there was no crack to it. And then the base bottom, in thinking about it, is less turnover. It's more like a baklava sort of like flakiness. I think you compared it to something like the flakiness of like the top that used to be on the pot pie, which would make a lot of sense.
I would say from like looking at it from afar, the brulee portion looked like a gel. And then, you could see the layers of the puff pastry on the bottom, and it definitely looked like a pot pie type puff pastry, not necessarily a dessert. So
it was still a good dessert. I just think her dessert was that much better. Like I said, the addition of the additional crab cake on my dish, not worth it. They're going to be that size every time. You just go with the one. It's such a non-starter for a little tiny one like that for another $10. It's already $35 for that plate, so like, mileage may vary.
Additional new items were a burrata dish that
with peaches.
Is vegetarian, and then there is a braised short rib.
They changed the ingredients a little bit.
Yeah, and they changed 2 other dishes.
They changed the flat iron steak was a 10 ounce before, now it's 12 with a little bit different fixings, and then the pot pie is a different.
Oh, right.
It's like a deconstructed now. It's not like before. It was like a soup pot with the
huge
top pot pie. Now it's like the reverse. It's in a pot pie with the flaky crust, but no top. So
the table next to us got there was a party of 4, and 3 of them got that pot pie, and it all just looked like a mush of mashed potatoes to me with
like chowder,
scallops on top.
It just looked like a soup for an entree. I'm glad that I went with the crab cake as far as like I think that's the better new entree. The pot pie was always great, but like I don't want just a straight chowder for dinner. I'd already had a soup, so I've been like getting like 2 soups. But I mean, for those that want it, I loved it before. I'm sure it's still plenty good now.
I would also say if you've watched our top 10 bread services at Walt Disney World video, the bread that we mentioned in that video at Ale and Compass is still there and is still popular AF.
Yeah, they haven't gotten rid of the Parker House rolls. They're still there. They still line them up in like the
little configuration,
the little like sous chef runner station. They just have the dips lined up ready to go. So be not worried. Your beloved and my beloved Parker House with the bacon jam and the butter and then the pimento cheese dip.
Yes, that's correct.
Still there, still popular.
And that one is also available as a vegetarian.
Yes.
But also makes me miss my beloved buffalo cauliflower. That was probably the best appetizer that they have had at Ale and Compass for vegans. Bear and I have been coming to this restaurant particularly since 2017 when they renovated it. They had like opened from refurb, and at that time we hadn't started YouTube yet, but we were doing a lot of Sanaa and we were doing a lot of the wave of American flavors, and then we added Ale and Compass into our rotation because we loved that restaurant that much. It was literally in our top 3 forever.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fallen off since we've tried every single restaurant now at Walt Disney World, but it's still pretty high up there, and the new menus, they're competitive enough.
We used to leave our Epcot days to come to Ale and Compass for lunch and then leave again. So like it was that level of like we're willing to leave the park to come eat here. Now quality dipped for a bit. I feel like they're coming back up, but they still have some tweaks to do to get back to the level that I think they were after the refurb. But we don't know what you guys think. We know Ale and Compass is popular for breakfast. I don't feel like dinner and lunch have always been as popular as they used to be.
I never really liked lunch, so I don't know.
But we want to hear from you guys. So we know what you guys think. Is Ale and Compass something that makes your list? Do you care about Ale and Compass, or you come to the boardwalk for greener pastures? You know, maybe you want to ruin yourself with cake bake. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, if there's anything else you can see us do, the comments will always be the place to find us. Hit the notification bell if you want to see other videos like this. And
we have new videos 5 days a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
We will see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, well, Bear's already a Nessie bear, cow bear, a flying bear.
Had wings before.
what else he's gonna be. He's gonna yeet himself into the geese? The geese would hurt him, right? Maybe?
I fought geese. They will lose. But you heard the drill.
To this point of the video, congratulations, you're towards the end. How are we going to reward you? Well, with more work, because that's what we do here, right? We want you to comment one of your little boat emojis, whichever little boat emoji you want to be on, because this is a yacht club after all. And when you're on that little boat, what animal do you want to see in the water? Is it a whale? Maybe you have a yacht emoji and you write whale. Maybe it's a dolphin. Maybe it's a sea lion. Maybe it's an orca. I want to know. Tell us in the comments, what kind of boat are you riding and what are you seeing when you ride said boat? Congratulations, you win!